Well, it starts. The first few ash trees are starting to die out on the property due to the emerald ash borer. Luckily, there are still some ash trees around that should survive at least one more year. It was a really bad year for them. Early frost meant, this is one of the trees that gets its leaves earliest in the spring, and an early frost means it has to do that again when it loses them. For those of you who don't know about the emerald ash borer, it's an invasive insect that the American ash trees really have no ability to deal with. The ash trees where the emerald ash borer is native have more tannic acid in them, which means they can handle the insect far better. I'm fairly certain that all of the ash trees on the property are white ash, meaning they do have some resistance. And also the soil here has plenty of tannins in it, but I don't know if they'll uptake that and that might help them, or if, that has no effect. I did purchase some insecticide to try and combat the borer, but I can't put it on all of the trees. As cheap as the stuff surprisingly was, you need quite a bit for each tree, and it's a fairly common tree around here. So instead, I'm going to use the insecticide on the trees next year that appear to be the healthiest. The stronger the tree, likely the more naturally it can resist the borer, the better an effect the insecticide will likely have. Here's a quick little snapshot of what's in store for the future. It's quite sad, but this is just what's going to happen for most of the ash trees around here. Now, unfortunately, I'm not an expert on this, so I can't tell if the emerald ash borer was what killed these trees. There's plenty of reasons they would have fallen. I mean, the water table around here fluctuates like crazy. There's those marks up there, but again, I'm not an expert. Those might be emerald ash borer markings, they might not be. There's plenty that does that to trees. Now, of course, this is just one tree species, so it's not the worst thing in the world. There are forests where ash trees make up far more of the composition than this property here. We're lucky that we have aspen trees here, a very close population that might be able to restore the crown very quickly, but still, it's a very big invitation for invasive species. And of course, trees that get weakened or die tend to fall, and they don't always manage to do so without any collateral damage, unfortunately. For example, that tree there is an ash tree. I hope it either survives or falls this way, because that right there is the American elm. In fact, if that tree does show signs of significant weakness, it may need to be brought down. Overall, it's incredibly unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'll do what I can to try and save some of the stronger trees, but, I might not succeed. Luckily, it appears many of the trees here on the mountain seem to be doing better than in the surrounding areas, but that may only be temporary. Anyway, it's not the most upbeat video I could have made, but given that this channel is primarily run because of this forest, I thought it was important to talk about this, spread awareness if I can, and talk about the plans that I have to try and save a couple of these trees. I really do hope you guys learned something. See ya.